Hey y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Okay, I'm your host Zarissa, and today we have to talk about this. We have to talk about A Court of Mist and Fury. Before we continue on to the video, we have another sponsor. It's the same sponsor, it's Analuisa, and I'm so excited. So they sent me some bracelets. Their holiday collection is coming up. They are doing a big sale, 35% off. It's a super big sale, and I have a whole bunch of bracelets to show you guys. This is the first one. I've been wearing this for 4 days. I've showered and it has not colored, it has not changed. It is really good quality, and I'm going to link their names as I go right here. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. The third bracelet. Very pretty. This is the last one. That is so pretty, and it has like a very nice shine to it, but not like a cheap look. They're also very sustainable. They are made with really good quality material, and if you want to purchase, you can use the link below. You can use my discount code, and then on top of that there is 35% off. It's a big sale. It's their holiday sale, and stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for Analuisa for sponsoring LeBlanc Library Podcast yet again, and let's get back into the book. I literally just finished it, so I'm on a roll right now. Okay, I didn't start another book. I'm fresh. My brain is fresh, so we're gonna pick up where we left off. So sorry for the sleevage. So what happened prior, right? Farah won against Yatantra won against her, and she is having night terror. She is very traumatized from everything that she went through. And Tamlin, when I tell y'all about this man, Tamlin is just planning the wedding, and he's all about being a high lord again, trying to set up everything, has her talking to a high priestess named Ianthe and planning their wedding, and they're not dealing with her emotional stress that she's been going through. She's been going through nightmares so bad that she's throwing up, she's not eating, she's not sleeping well, and he's just proceeding, and then he's putting her in these ugly dresses and laughing at her, but saying it's tradition, we need to hurry up and get married, and I'm just like, okay, I'm like that now, but like at the time I was like, I mean, you do love him. I mean, I kind of didn't think nothing of it at the beginning. Knowing what I know now, it's kind of like, I should have known better. Yeah. So he is leaving her out of the loop. He keeps going to doing whatever, like, not explaining to her what's going on. He's just leaving and not taking her anywhere. She's supposed to just stay in the house and be happy. He's like, I'm trying to keep you safe and protected. I'm doing the best that I can to keep you safe. And we're gonna get there too, because it's kind of like, oh my gosh, you guys, at the beginning of, like, he's so good at manipulating things. Like, he's good at playing victim, he's good at playing hero, but it's all a game, like, so anyway, she still has the tattoo from Rhysand, and he comes in on the wedding day and swoops her up because she's supposed to grab Tamlin's hand, and she's like, no, someone save me. And through their bond, he went and got her, and he was like, am I interrupting something? Well, I'm taking her. It's time for our monthly visit of a week. So when she came to where he was from, the night court, she got to see the night court. It's beautiful from what she depicts. And he's looking at her up and down. She looks sullen. She looks like she needs sleep, food. He's like, you must eat, okay? And so he's like, he clearly doesn't care about your feelings, and he's trying to get her to open up and talk about what happened under the mountain, and she's just not going for it. And she's like, well, why did you take me from him? And he was like, I heard your mind telling me, or anybody that could hear, that you didn't want to marry him right then. Like, you were paused, you weren't gonna finish walking and saying those vows. So she is mad at him, but then she looks a little better when she goes back to the spring court. So she goes to the spring court, and same kind of vibe, throwing up, sullen, still don't know what's going on. She's just supposed to act like a docile creature that doesn't know what's going on. So then he comes and gets her again, and Tamlin is getting more and more angry about it. And he's like, we're going to figure out how to break this curse, because no, you're not going to keep taking her. And she's like mad about it, but at the same time, she's getting better sleep with Rhysand, and she's eating. So I'm like, the fact that she's supposed to be happy with Tamlin and she's losing weight and losing sleep, it was kind of like, oh no, that's no bueno. So they spend another week together, and he's teaching her how to read. So remember, she can't read. So she learns how to read, and she's learning how to use her powers. Oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. You guys, since she's become a fae, a high fae, she has all powers of the 7 high lords, and Tamlin will not let her train. He was like, you don't need to. For what? I'm trying to protect you. What if people find out? No one needs to know you have powers. No. And she's training with Rhysand, and he actually taught her how to read. And I'm like, see, like, I'm seeing this now, but I'm like, Tamlin didn't even bother to push her on not being able to read. Like, he kind of just was okay with her being, just like, he wanted her to be handicapped. And I think it's crazy that he wants that from her when she's done so much for him. It's crazy. Like, you would swear that he did all the work under the mountain and she didn't. And we're gonna go through that because, you guys, I'm irked. So she goes back with Tamlin, and she's like, please let me go with you. And he's like, no, you're staying here. That's it. And he put a shield up over the house. He was like, you're staying in here. And mind you, Lucian is doing nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing. He's like, it's just for a little bit. He's just trying to protect you, I promise. And she's like, he locked me in. And everyone else can come in and out, not her. And the reason why this is such a big thing is because she literally was a prisoner under the mountain to save him and his court. So for him to turn around and do it was kind of like, you haven't been asking how I've been feeling, how I've been faring after being under the mountain. You're not asking me, am I okay? You're just in and out. You know what I'm saying? So she's panicking and freaking out and tearing up the house. Like, her powers start coming out because she's like, he locked me in. And not even using my prop. And Rhysand's cousin comes and gets her. Oh, and she already met her. Her name's Morrigan. She's important. We're keeping her. She's important. Mor came and got her and brought her to the night court, and she was just like disheveled. She was like, he locked me up. And Rhysand was pissed, and he was like, I don't get why you love him so much. I don't get it. And then she's like, shut up. Okay, maybe he did it for a reason, like he's just trying to protect. So she ends up staying with Rhysand basically throughout the whole book. Like, for most of the book, I would say a good 80 to 90% of the book, she's with Rhysand. And why is her color coming back? Why is her skin glowing? Why is she's filling back out? Her bags are not under her eyes no more. And I'm getting ahead of myself again because I'm just like, oh, this is such a good book series. My my client did her big one with this one. But he being with him helped her realize a lot of things that Tamlin was falling short of. And it even made me realize, yeah, you know what? No, he's not that great. And by the end of the book, and we're going to get there, by the end of the book, he wasn't great at all. So Reese is teaching her to train, and he says, do you want to work with me? Meet my courtiers, meet the people that are close to me. The people under the mountain, though I run them, I don't like them like that, so I don't really deal with them. I deal with them when I have to, but not on a regular. This is where I'm from, and it's this place called Valaris, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and it has beautiful people. And at first she was mad about them being okay while everything was going on under the mountain. And he was like, yeah, I hid them. I sure did, because I didn't want anything to happen to them. And over time, she came around to, okay, I understand why he protected his people. Also, the people that work with him are not like his servants, whereas Tamlin treated Lucian like a henchman, a flunky, and that's why Lucian didn't feel comfortable sticking up to him, versus the court that he has, which is Azriel, which is like a shadow guy. He's very quiet. Moore, which is his cousin, she's third for him in command. He's first, he's High Lord. Amryn, who's also a woman, is second in command, and Cassian. They are all friends. They're like family, actually. And if somebody's in the wrong, they can call him out. Whereas nobody could call out Tamlin. No one. He's always right, and no one else is right. So, did I talk to y'all about Ianthe? We don't like her. But yeah, I'll tell you. I think I can tell you about that now. Ianthe was the high priestess that was supposed to marry them, her and Tamlin, Feyre and Tamlin. And turns out she's a little hot thing, and she's always trying to give her hot cakes to every High Lord that wants it. And her and Rhysand are not cool because she tried to do that, and he was like, please go away. And she was just like, butt naked in his bed, bro, doing nasty things that he did not ask for. So we don't like her. We're not a fan, and we're gonna dislike her even more by the end of this discussion. So she's learning how to train. He's got her doing obstacles. He's getting on her nerves, but she's also opening up. She's getting through her emotions. She's having a couple of breakdowns here and there, which is what she needed. She was like, I killed those people. And they were like, for the greater good, or whatever. They actually talked her through, and they were like, we've done things that we regret, and you just have to live with them and move on and get through it as best as you can. And we learned the backstories of Cassian. He was was he a bastard? He was definitely low level. There were still class systems. So right now, even though he is considered high level, because he's part of the king's court, people still look at him as a dog because he's like low level, born. And actually the night court has some bad things about it. The one under the mountain, they're pretty bad. They think of their women as breeding cows, which I would say Tamlin's not too far off from himself. But anyways, they breed their women. They cut the women's wings so they can't fly. They say it's to protect them, but it's just they cut them. And they're for breeding and mating, and they don't treat their women well. But not Tamlin, Rhysand is trying to fix that. And in Valaris, it's not like that. It's just under the mountain that they're so cruel and evil. And I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but I feel like it was just a lot of jumps. We'll get to everyone's backstory. I'll talk to you about everyone's backstory in a second. I'll tell you what Feyre had to do. She had to do 2 tasks. She had to go to this prison that nobody can get out of, that Amryn escaped. Also, Amryn is a baddie. She's like this classy lady that can take you out. That's why she's second in command, because she's like the second strongest. And even Rhysand is a little scared of her. He was like, I think she could actually overpower me because she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. As in, whatever she really is could take the whole world down. And he was like, if need be, I would unleash it if necessary. And without all the stuff being unleashed, she's still that girl. So they had to go to the prison and ask questions on how to stop Highburn. So that is something I'm supposed to be telling y'all about. While there's this crazy love situation, there's also a war about to happen with Highburn. Remember Amarantha, who we don't like, who we said we weren't going to talk about no more? She is still the bane of our existence in this book. And who she was a general. One of Highburn's general. The High Lord of Highburn. She was a general for him. And they were like, if it was just one of her, and you see what she did, imagine how many of those he's got running around his court, and he's trying to start a war, not only in Prithian, but in, I think it is Prithian, yes, but also the human world as well. So they are trying to get things together to prepare for the war and try to stop it so we don't have these problems. They go to this place called something. It was about, what was his name? Was he the Bone Carver? The Bone Carver. He tells you how to get away with stuff, or not how to get away with stuff. He tells you have to answer a question for him, and honestly, you have to give him a truth for him to give you an answer to a question that you have. And they were trying to figure out how to stop Highburn, High Lord Highburn. Is that what we're gonna call him? Anyways, and they said that he had the cauldron, which is very important, and they needed the book to nullify the cauldron. And the book is in two halves, and one of them is in the summer court, and the other one is in the human world with the 6 queens. Okay, so they went there, and Feyre started talking about the things that were bothering her, and she was starting her healing journey finally about what had happened to her under that mountain. And they got through that, and then she had to go to and this is a sidebar too, but they also had to go to this, the Weaver? Yes, the Weaver, and pick up something to find out if one, Feyre could track things, but there's another reason why that they had that going on for her to beat the Weaver. She did. She was mad at Rhysand, but she is finding out that she's stronger than she thinks, and she forgot how strong she was. Tamlin was like low-key breaking her down, like making her think she was this weak, docile creature that needed to be taken care of. And even though Rhysand had her going through some stuff that caused her stress, we're gonna say getting her out of her comfort zone, it was building her strength back, and it was helping her deal and endure with what she had been through. So once they get that done, they have to go to the summer court. They met the people at the summer court, and they stole a book. And because, I did not tell y'all, but Tamlin also takes money from his people and says, it's just tradition. And Rhysand doesn't do that. And also, like, Feyre felt so bad for one of the people of Tamlin's court and gave her jewels that when she needed that person, they came back and ended up saving her and Amren when they were getting half of the book. So they stole that from the summer court. I feel like that's important to know. The summer court was pissed, and they sent 3 blood rubies. I'm like, wow, y'all just be sending jewels to each other. I'm mad at you. Here's some blood rubies. Let's keep the peace. Here's some diamonds. Anyways, I'm like, wow. So then they have to go to, they have to get the book from the human queens, but the human queens have to agree to give the book. At least one of them. I don't think there's no technicality of all of them have to agree. It's kind of more of a like, if one decides to give the book, that's fine. That works. And you can't manipulate them into doing it, or the book, that half of the book will disintegrate. So they were talking to the queens, and they seemed like they were not trying to help. They were like, who cares about the war? If they want to take that part of the human realm, that human sign, We don't care. Like, they came off really like, I did not like those queens. They were not giving. There was only one good queen, and they got rid of her by the end of the book, and that rubbed me the wrong way. But the rest of them queens, all they cared about was immortality and being beautiful. They were very vain and had nothing up there in the brain. Nothing. They were cruel. They were everything that sucks. Also, we get to see Elaine and Nesta, and I am starting to really like Nesta. Nesta is growing on me. And Feyre said she has a lot of feelings. They were like, Nesta just has a lot of feelings and she feels everything, which is why she comes off as hard, because she's like trying to have a strong presence. But Nesta and Cassian, I feel like they have a vibe. They have a vibe. I wonder if they're gonna mate, and we're gonna talk about mating too. I feel like I'm all over the place, but let me put this in here. Feyre was waiting for the mating bond to click in with Tamlin. Okay, I'm gonna continue. I feel like her and Cassian, though, Nesta and Cassian have a vibe. They do. Morgan is supposed to have a vibe with Azriel and Cassian. I really think she should just be with Azriel and whatever. Cassian seems very interested in Nesta. Amarin is vibing. Amarin's not. Well, actually, no. Amarin, there's a guy in the summer court that likes her. So that's going on. And Feyre is starting to get closer to Rhysand. She's like, you're my friend. And, you know, that's her bestie. And they're becoming really, really close. Okay, so where are we at? They got the both sides of the books. What else? Something happened. They were doing something and somebody shot Feyre and Rhysand out of the sky. And I don't know where they were going, but they were supposed to be going somewhere to get ready for all this stuff going on. They had both halves of the book by then. No, they only had one half. And Amryn was deciphering it, my bad. So Rhysand gets shot at a lot, and with the ash arrows, and they have poison called, Bane's blood, Blood's bane, something like that, was going on, and she was able to winnow him, which is like teleporting, him out of the way and get all those, ash arrows out of him, but he was healing really slow. So she caught, what was that thing called again? I keep forgetting, but the thing that she talked to before, she caught it again to talk to it again. And she was like, to heal your mate, give him some of your blood because you have healing powers from the healing court. She was like, okay, mate. What you mean, mate? And she was like, that's your mate. You didn't know? Well, he knows. Okay, bye. Like, it was like, girl, what? So she finds out that Rhysand is her mate, and she's so mad at him because he didn't tell her. So she drops him. He is over here slowly healing after some blood. She's like, here, have some blood. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and winnow us back where we need to be right now. I said right now. And so then she drops down. She was like, I'm your mate, and you wasn't going to tell me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because she keeps comparing him to Tamlin. Okay, she's having these like back and forths because she's still slowly like getting over him, but trying to find faults in Rhysand that trigger, like, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to figure out if they have the same bad qualities. And another reason, even though she's starting to dislike Tamlin, she still holds Tamlin to some type of high regard because he put her family back in a good wealth area. Like, they're not poor anymore, and they're doing well. So she's like, I don't like what he did to me, but he did do a lot for my sisters and my father, so I'm going to let him make it. So I'm going to go back real quick. She finally realizes now, by this point, she realizes she did all that work under the mountain, and she's starting to see where Tamlin didn't help, and Rhysand and everyone else helped but Tamlin. When she was down getting beat up under the mountain, Lucien, which pisses me off now, I'm like side-eyeing Lucien. Lucien is always defending Tamlin to a fault. And he tried to tell her, well, he doesn't want Amarantha to know how much he loves you or she'll do worse things. And it's just like, she's already jumped me in front of you and she has me staying in a prison. What's worse? You know? And he didn't go down to visit her while she was locked up. Not once. Lucien came to check on her. His henchman, his flunky, checked, but not him. And when she had messed up her arm, Rhysand helped her. Rhysand bet for her to win, okay? And Rhysand made it to where she wasn't living like that for a while. It was less terrible because of Rhysand, okay? And then also, when Tamlin finally interacted with her under the mountain, he hid with her in a closet to make out with her. And Rhysand had to help, because if Amarantha would have saw that, she would have got worse treatment maybe, but he didn't care at that moment. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, if the reason was if he shows any emotion towards her, she's going to do worse things, why would you jeopardize putting her in the closet with you, making out with her, and someone else had to step in to save her because you were about to have her have more problems? All right. Okay. And then when she won, all he did was beg Amarantha, please don't kill her, please. Even Rhysand, not at his full strength, tried to strike at Amarantha. Tamlin didn't try until he knew he could win. He just begged. And once she won, that's when he finally did something. So it's like he's holding on to the victory of, well, I killed Amarantha. And I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, you couldn't have killed her if Feyre, with her human skinny self, didn't come down here and set all y'all free. And we'll give him props for killing Amarantha, but honestly, once everyone got their powers back, anybody could have killed her and she would have went down. You were just close enough to do it first. And now I also, I feel like I'm all over the place, but I also wanted to add with you guys, he made it seem like Rhysand was so horrible, like, oh, somebody killed my family. In fact, it was Rhysand and his father, but he never fully said why Rhysand and his father did it. No, he didn't. Rhysand and his father did that because Tamlin literally told them where Rhysand's mother and sister was going to be, and Tamlin's father and brothers and Tamlin went and killed his mother and sister. That's why they went back and killed Tamlin's brothers and father. And then they weren't supposed to kill the mother, but then the father was, Rhysand's father was pissed. So he killed the mother, and then he was about to kill Tamlin, and Rhysand stopped him, and then Tamlin killed Rhysand's father. And Tamlin has been playing the good old boy victim this whole time, and that's something that also bothers Rhysand as well, because it's kind of like everyone thinks I'm a bad guy and thinks I'm the worst and that I'm just Amarantha's whore, and they don't know that I did a lot. And she's like, and Tamlin looks like this golden boy that's just so amazing compared to him. And she was like, not to me, because the good guy doesn't lock the girl in the tower, and you set the girl in the tower free. And I'm like, cute. Okay, now back to her being mad as hell about him not telling her. So she waits a while to hear him out. Like, she ends up painting again. She's back painting, doing what she loves. And she decides that she wants to hear Rhysand out. After Moore, of course, said, girl, I know you mad, but like, get over it. So she lets him come by and talks about why and how long he knew. He knew once they came out from under the cave. Like, once she became high fae, he felt it and he disappeared. So he's known since then, and he was like, I didn't want you to think that I was trying to poison you against Tamlin. That's why I stayed away. I knew you were getting married to someone else, but whatever. I tried to stay out of it. And he talked to her about it. He talked about the mating bond. And it just blows my mind because she was waiting for Tamlin and her to have a mating bond. And they were never going to have one. Ever. They've already had sex. And nothing ever clicked. And she's waiting and it never clicked. And it clicked with her and Rhysand, but she just didn't know what it was. So it was never going to click with Tamlin. It was always going to feel just a little wrong. And now that she knows that that's her mate, you know, it gets worse for Tamlin. And she offers him some food. It was just like warmed up soup, and that's like a big thing. So she offers him food, and then they had sex, you know, and I think like literally right after they had like bonded, they met up with the queens. That's what it was. So they met up with the queens and the sister. Also, Nesta was going in on those queens. I loved it. Those queens were really playing. Like, he showed Valaris, and Valaris has been being hid for 5,000 years. He showed Valaris, and they were like, we'll consider giving you the other half of the book. And he was like, are you kidding me? The war is about to break out. Like, are y'all not worried? And there's a reason why they're not. And so the one queen that we like, that's cool, may she rest in peace, she actually did give them the book, and they started working on all of it. And Amren started working on deciphering it. When that happened, Valaris got attacked by Highburn soldiers, and I can't remember of the thing that she's scared of, probably because she killed it. And so I'm like, it's gone. Oh, the Adler, that thing was there, and they started terrorizing Valaris, and my girl Feyre was out here slaying, okay? She was using her powers. She was taking these soldiers out. She was protecting. And they told her to go in the house because they are always going to want to protect her. Even though they're friends and family, they are always going to want to protect her. She was like, I'm not sitting in the house while people need my help. And what motivated her was she saw someone that had no hope in winning, standing their ground. She was like, I have to help. And they slayed. They did. And they killed the queen. The one good queen, young and beautiful, killed. So that happens, and they make a plan to go ahead and go to Highburn, nullify the cauldron, because now it's all been deciphered. So they're like, we need to get over there now. Yesterday. We gotta go. I also forgot to tell y'all that Lucien did try to come and get her against her will. And that kind of did make me side eye. I was like, how do we know Rhysand isn't doing mind games on her? But he isn't. He's really not. He taught her how to block him out of her mind and everything. Because that was a side eye. I was like, Tamlin is side eye, but how do we know Rhysand isn't playing with her brain? He's not. We find out that he isn't, not even close. But I hate that they keep trying to just take her against her will aggressively. I'm like, why do you think that works? It's not working on her. Oh, because she already told Tamlin she wasn't coming back. I forgot to add that, yeah, she said she wasn't coming back. They go to Highburn, and something happened. She was not supposed to put the books together. She was just supposed to nullify. And then the books started talking, and she had like a moment that I'm still confused by. I'm like, what happened? They like said, we need to be together. We need to do this. It was something weird that happened. And before they could nullify the cauldron, High Lord Highburn came down, and Jurian came down, and they shot Azriel in the chest, and they made a whole spectacle. Now, this is when the bombastic side eye was a full on, oh, it's not a side eye. This is straight up stank face. Tamlin and Lucien just pop up. They're cool with Highburn. And Highburn's like, Feyre, if I give you to him, he said he would let me storm through Prithian from his court because he wants you back. And Tamlin looks a mess. He looks gaunt. I don't even know what gaunt means. Let's look that up. But he just looks how she been looking since having to be with him. Like, while he was thriving and eating and feeling good and fresh and healthy, she's not feeling her best. And I feel like that's what he looked like. Gaunt definition. A gaunt man. A person lean, haggard, especially because of suffering, hunger, or age. Desolate in appearance. That's what he looked like. A mess. Just, I guess, from not having her around or whatever. But he literally sided with the one person that he shouldn't have sided with just to get her back. And I'm like, do you know how bad that is? That you are literally going against her will. Going against her will to get her back. She says she doesn't want to come back. You locked her up. You're not paying attention to her. You're not being a good partner to her. You're avoiding her, ignoring her, leaving her out of things. And then you side with the person that is trying to start a war just to get her back. You're not winning here. You're losing. And then now that we know that she's mated with Rhysand, it's like, y'all were never going to click. Why are you so obsessed with her? And I really, at this point, think it's a power move. He literally just wants power so bad, and he wants to be tied with the savior of Prithian, that he doesn't care if they don't have a bond. He doesn't care. And so he's trying to say, Rhysand must have did something to your mind. And it's like, no, you're trying to manipulate her. Please. So he literally, Hybern sucks. He's a horrible person, and he's also powerful. He's good with spells and concoctions. He made Elaine and Nesta get in the cauldron, and now they're both Fae. And guess who mates with Elaine? Who was also betrothed? Freaking Lucian. And I'm like, oh, that is the worst match. But maybe Lucian is gonna redeem himself, because like, I like Lucian, but like, I don't. Like, I want to like him, but because he's with Tamlin, I don't. But he likes Elaine. Like, he's mated with Elaine, and they have to do something about everything. So this is when the queens come out. They decided, that's another thing. The queens came out and they were like, prove to us that the cauldron works and that we can come out. They're like, with the goodwill, yeah, you'll survive. But if you have like not a strong will, you're going to die. Oh, and that's why Elaine and Nesta were turned into Fae, because they needed to be like the queens wanted them to prove that they could turn into Fae. And I hope all of them, this sounds so bad, but I hope they don't make it, because really, this is what you gave up. I mean, I don't know. I think it's lame. So Farah does something that was hard on my chest. It was hard. She acted like Rhysand put a spell on her. She's like, Tamlin, please. Because Tamlin, that's another thing. Tamlin kept lunging at her to try to take her home. And he just keeps trying, and she goes, take me home, Tamlin, please. And she's like pleading with Rhysand, because everybody on Rhysand's side is like injured or predisposed, can't do anything. And right when she broke all the wards and made it to where everybody could leave, she started the show, and she was like, take me home, Tamlin. And she's like pleading with Rhysand to take her sisters, because Tamlin was about to say, yeah, we're taking her sisters too. I was like, absolutely not. No. And so the reason why her sisters were there because Miss Ma'am Ianthe sold out the sisters. His trusted priestess, Tamlin's trusted priestess, is the one who sold out Farah's sisters. Yeah, we don't like her. We don't like Ianthe. We don't like her. And Tamlin sided with Hybern to get her back, and he was like, yeah, I'll give you the Night Court, and you can kill him if you want, just get Farah back or whatever, against her will. I'm like, Tamlin, the side eye is gone. I'm just looking at you like, we don't like you either. And what's funny is I was gonna name this one, I'm side-eyeing Tamlin, to Tamlin, we don't like you. It's changed. But basically the night court takes her sisters and they get out and they're fine. They just need to be healed and they'll be okay. And they're like, why did you let Feyre go with him? Go get her. No. Oh, and they think the bond is broken between them. Highburn thinks that he broke the bond between Feyre and Rhysand. They did not, and we're gonna get there. Love can be as beautiful as it could be poison, and that's exactly what it was. He was not being loving anymore. He was being possessed. I don't even think it was love. I think it was possession, personally. She says love can be poison. I say that there was no love there. There was just possession and power. That's all he was after, okay? He was so blinded by what he wanted that he did not care about how she felt in any way, shape, or form. So, they're all mad at Rhys. Rhys's court is like, go get her now. And they're like, she's my equal. She's a high lady. And they were like, a high, huh? Like, not a consort. And he was like, no, not wife either. High lady. She is my equal. We sit on the throne together and have crowns and sit side by side. She is still my mate. They only broke the bond of when he could feel on the left arm, but on the right arm, they already got a priestess to bless her as a high lady and tattoo the other arm. So they don't even know. Spring Court don't even know. They couldn't break that bond. And so they can still feel each other, Rhysand and Feyre. Okay, amen. And they're like, well, why is my high lady over there? And they were like, she is a spy and she is going to infiltrate from the inside and we are going to wait for her call to get this done. Okay, so we jump back over to Feyre and Lucien is on to Feyre because of the bond that he has with her sister now. He's like, she's too calm about them being taken by the night court, and Tamlin is just too dumb. I don't like him. He's just too happy that he got her to notice the nuances about her. And to be honest, I feel like Tamlin doesn't notice these things because he's not in love with her. He is in love with power, in love with what her name holds and what it makes him look like. So he doesn't care about her nuances. He doesn't care, like, he'll side eye her, but not enough, because he's like, whatever, if I win, I win. I'm not questioning it, and he should. So Lucien is just, I think he can tell, and he's over here like, there is a wolf in sheep's clothing and she's gonna run amok all over this court. And all Tamlin said he was gonna do to Ianthe is, we're gonna have a serious talk with her. I was like, a serious talk? You were literally about to kill Rhysand and his whole court and all of the night court over trying to get Feyre back. But for Feyre's sisters, which you know she cares about, but again, he doesn't run that deep. Ianthe just gets a talk. Ianthe gets more than a talk. I don't know what she gets, but she needs a lot. She needs a lot. So, that's how the book ended, basically. Feyre is back over there, but not the way Tamlin thinks, and I don't even feel bad for him because what he did was crazy. And that book was a 5 out of 5. It was a 6 out of 5. That book had me. And then by the end, the book is always good all the way through. But when you get to the end, you're just like, I gotta finish. It was so good. And I'm ready for the next book. I'm gonna calm down though, because we are not gonna start on is a Court of Wings and Ruin, but we are not going there. We're going somewhere else. We're gonna take a break. So we're jumping over for spooky time for Halloween. And I seen this on YouTube. They said that I saw the title and said, I want to read it. But someone said they don't even read books, and this made them start reading books. So we're going to dive into this. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And this is a synopsis. I don't even know what it is either because I haven't started it. I'm doing good, you guys. Okay. 5 years ago, Andy Bell, a girl in Pippa's village, was murdered by her boyfriend Sal Singh. Oh my gosh. But the body was never found. Pippa suspects it wasn't an open and shut case and chooses to make a study of it for her final year project at school. With the help of Sal's younger brother Ravi, Pippa determined to find out what really happened that night. Neither of them thinks Sal was the murderer, but by trying to prove it, Pippa puts herself, her friends, and her family in real danger. Someone in the village doesn't like her delving into the past, and the murder was a little too close to home. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is an exciting read filled with enough twists and turns and red herrings to keep the reader on the edge of their seat right up to the finish line. Cleverly plotted, it's filled with interesting, diverse characters, incredible tension, developing romance, and a good smattering of humor. Will appeal to readers who enjoyed Alex Wheatl's Cronton Nights. Never heard of it, but we could put that on the list later maybe. Patrice Lawrence's Orange Boy, also never heard of it, and Muhammad Khan's I Am Thunder. Never heard of all that. But that is the synopsis. I hope it's good. I do, because that's the next book. And then after this book, we will be back with Feyre. We will. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good week, and until next time, bye.